Trickle. I bought one of these ComerJets here about a month ago, and pretty happy guy. The young man next to me is pretty happy. My son Chris. The guy came from California, and we just was out here like the second time practicing and barely getting around the track. And he said, "Why don't you call this ComerJet.com?" And I says, yeah, okay, you know. So a friend of mine picked one up, and he was out here at the track, and he was putting 5, 6, 7 seconds on my son here. And about the fourth time I seen this happen, I just shook my head and I says, "That's it. I'm getting one."
My name is Eddie Fiore. This is my son, Cruz Fiore. We race locally here in Las Vegas at 2 local tracks. We had another kart when we first got into this sport, and found ourselves usually mid to back of the pack. And then as Cruz became a better driver, he started doing better and better, but still couldn't match the lap times of the top kids. So I thought he could drive on the track locally here, the Xplex in Las Vegas. His best lap time was like a 110 or 114 with our old chassis. Within about 2 weeks of practicing every day, when we had a lot of spare time between Christmas, New Year's, Thanksgiving, we came to the track every day, practiced 2, 3, 4 hours. His lap times with the new Comer chassis, the Tornado chassis, went from a 114 to a 110 in a matter of 2 weeks. The thing's just a rocket in the corners. And I was reading that on the webpage thinking, oh yeah, the right inside wheel comes up when you turn. No joke, it does. That's right. Faster in the corners, definitely. Everybody thought we were cheating, had a big hot rod motor in there. And Chuck Trickle, he's the next one to get one of these, and he was the one standing next to me all the time saying, "How come that kart doesn't drop RPMs like mine does in the corner?" I'd tell him, you don't want one of those things, because I didn't want the secret to be out, but it's out now. He's got 2 of them, and he's right there with us.
I'm getting one. So I called up Michael May, ComerJet, and brought it out here, and my son got in it, this guy right here, and he turned 4.5 to 6 seconds difference on a lap. And he come into the pits, sat in the car, would not get out of the car, and had the smile on his face, unreal. We were driving a different type of kart, and I says, "Okay, now let's go take the other kart out and practice with it a little bit." He said, "Dad," he says, "I don't want to drive that kart no more." So I was pretty happy with the whole setup, and he was very happy too. So we're teaming this thing up together, and you like this kart? A little bit on the driver and the motor a little bit, but we'd lose about on the back straightaway at Button Willow. We'd lose probably, I bet we lost 8 to 10 car lengths, and through the corners he picked them back up.
Because my Tornado chassis is the fastest car I ever drove.
Where is it faster?
In the corners. The back wheel lifts up and makes RPMs go higher in the straight.
That's right. RPMs don't fall down, do they? That's right.
They just go up.
With the kart, the biggest feature is the handling of it and the way it corners. You know, my brother raced NASCAR, and he would tell me when he got into the big cars, he says the traction and the grip they had on the track was so good that he says it just holds you on the track. And when I got this little go-kart, it reminded me of the same thing he was telling me about how how his NASCAR car worked. And the biggest thing is it turns. When you go in the corner, it turns. Fairly seldom gets loose. Very simple adjustments with the tires. Car came off, out of the box, put the motor on it, and went instant fast. And that was the biggest thing about the whole thing.
They were definitely faster in the corner. The competitors, I was the first one in Las Vegas to get a Tornado chassis. And like I said, we went from the middle of the pack right to the front. And all the other dads on test day were out on the track, and we were standing there, and Cruz comes into the corner. RPMs don't drop at all. The other chassis, they come into the corner. You hear the chassis come down, the bog, because the wheel don't come off the ground. Just a whole lot better chassis.
This whole hydraulic braking system is good. When the cars come, it's set up for a 5, 6, or 7-year-old. You don't have to adjustment. You don't have to do things to the thing, and that was one of the biggest things what I liked about it. And everything was on it. Everything was right. It didn't fall off. Nothing fell off, and that was the That was the big thing. The seat,
Whoa.
Michael May had 4 boys, so he knew what a 5-year-old's dimensions were, so the seat came in, I never had to move the seat.
Dragging the RPMs down with these little tiny motors, with the little horsepower that they make, you need every advantage you can get. When this wheel comes off the ground, you will see, or just like I said, go listen to, stand on the track. If somebody else has one of these carts on your track, go out there and stand in the corner and listen to the RPM difference between your son's or daughter's cart when he or she comes around the corner to this Tornado chassis. Before you leave the practice track, you'll be tracking down Michael May, believe me.